She leaned in and said, I don't want to look different. I just want people to look at me the way I wish they did, as if I were beautiful. That line has never left me because I have heard some version of it again and again. From a teacher, a bride, a new mother, a trauma survivor, a retired executive. They all say this. I want to look like me, just not the tired, broken, or forgotten version. This talk is not about surgery or skincare or Instagram beauty hacks. It's about something much deeper. What if your face was never the problem? Only the template you're comparing it to. Somewhere along the way, beauty stopped being a mirror, something real, something personal. Instead, it became a mask, a fixed set of features most of us were not even born with. Big eyes, high cheekbones, narrow noses, smooth forehead, sharp jawlines. And the worst part, most of these features were not even ours to begin with. They were exported, filtered, globalized, and then marketed to us as ideal. As if it's like being told that the only beautiful handwriting is cursive, when your writing, your natural writing, is bold, curved, and expressive. We stopped asking, what makes this face unique? And we started asking, how can I make it match? I'm a facial plastic surgeon, but not in a way people often assume. I don't change faces. I bring people closer to the face they imagined they had before life got in the way. Before grief, before trauma, before cancer, before the demand of work, motherhood, and responsibilities. But here's the thing. My work starts way before I ever hold the scalpel or the needle. It starts with listening. Sometimes it's in what they don't say. The way they avoid looking at the handheld mirror. Or the half joke they make about looking tired since 2019. Or when they use the phrase like, I know it's silly, but, and is never followed by something that is silly. People come to me assuming that they need to look different to feel better. More often than not, what they really need is to feel seen. And my job really is to find that part of their story that got lost in the reflection. It's to ask, where exactly did you stop recognizing yourself? What moment made you feel invisible? Who do you think you are invisible to? Others or yourself? Sometimes what I do is incredibly small. A millimeter lift to ease decades of exhaustion. Replacing a subtle mid-face volume, the time or grief stole. Smoothing a line, not to erase time, but to quiet a memory. These aren't cosmetic upgrades. They are the act of realignment between who you are and what the world sees. Because when your spirit starts to reflect on your face again, the world treats you differently. But most importantly, you treat yourself differently. And that's why I say I don't change faces. I help people come home to their own. I don't westernize them. All I do is harmonize them. I work with heritage, with memory, with emotional expression, with who you are, not what you're told to become. And here's the thing. We don't all age the same way. We don't all wrinkle the same way. We don't all lose volume the same way. But most of the aesthetic research, most techniques, and most standards are built around a narrow range of faces, usually Caucasians, usually Western, usually idealized. And you don't have to go too far to see what happens if everyone starts chasing the same look. Reels are trending with titles like, "Why do all actresses look the same these days?" People joke about pillow faces, overfilled cheeks, identical lips, frozen expressions. Beneath these jokes lies a deeper fear. Are we all losing individuality in the pursuit of perfection? Looking like yourself is not the opposite of looking beautiful. It's the only way beauty ever feels real. When I work with a face, I see the cultural context, the ethnic language of the features. I see what needs restoring, not replacing. I see what needs celebrating, not correcting. And that is when I started researching about Indian faces, about how they age. Not because I wanted better treatment outcomes, but because I wanted my patients to not get disappear in the blueprint of someone else. Our cheek pads descend differently. Our jaws mature differently. Our skin pigment behaves differently. And yet we were using the same injectables, the same angles, the same techniques, and the same textbooks. When you apply a wrong standard, you don't just change a face. You erase its story. My work is not to add beauty. It's to subtract distortion. It's to create a language of aesthetics that includes us. Let me tell you a story of a woman who survived severe burns. When she came to me, she said, "I don't want to look flawless. I just want to be able to attend my child's PTA meeting without being stared at." We spent time not mapping her scar tissues, but mapping her fears. I remember she cried, not when she saw her new contours, but when her daughter said, "Mama, you smiled in the mirror today." And the story of this guy who was recovering from cancer. He said, I just want to look like someone who's doing okay. He didn't want youth. He didn't want transformation. He wanted normalcy. A chance to walk through the room without feeling that he owed anyone an explanation. These stories aren't about glamour. They are about dignity. It's about someone finally getting to exist in this world without shrinking. And that's when I founded Aiming for the Stars, a non-profit that offers aesthetic and surgical correction for the economically challenged survivors of trauma, burn, and cancer. Not because they need to feel better, but because everyone deserves a chance to move through this world without hiding their story or their face. And in these moments, the real transformation is not in the volume or the symmetry. It's in the silence that follows. It's when the mirror becomes a welcome place again. It's when the posture becomes straight without effort. It's when people begin to speak, smile, and exist as if they finally belong in their own skin. In my line of work, scalpel is sometimes the smallest part of healing. This is not vanity. This is about visibility. We shame people for wanting to feel beautiful. We call them shallow, vain, fake. Beauty isn't always about surface. It's about being allowed to express fully. You can care about your appearance and still be intelligent. You can love your heritage and still want to ease certain signs of age. You can want change, not to disappear, but to reappear. And when done right, aesthetic medicine is not a disguise. It's a declaration. I'm still here, and I'm still me. Let me go back to that first woman. The one who said, I want people to look at me as if I were beautiful. She walked out of my clinic with her own face, but her posture had changed. Her eyes became steadier, her chin a little higher. Not because she was looking like someone else or she was looking different, but because she finally saw herself the way she always wanted to. The problem isn't your face. The problem isn't your face. It's the standard you have been compared to your entire life. And maybe, just maybe, it's time we change the standard instead. Thank you.